What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Thank you for coming here. I promise I have more friends than this. Maybe I don't know. Reality check. Oh, thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it. It's always nice having a nice crowd. It's tough getting anywhere in Utah right now, so I'm really surprised you guys made it out tonight. UDOT's sole goal is to make your life a living hell. It's making sure that you spend more time of your life just sitting in traffic. There's just cones dispersed amongst the city, random places. I see them in like a boardroom talking about, okay, so 3rd South and 4th West, looks like it's moving a little bit quick. I think we should throw some cones down there, make sure traffic slows down a bit. Why do you need highway patrol? Just throw some cones down, it's a lot cheaper. Driving down the freeway, there's like 6 lanes, blocked, cones all the way. You think maybe at the end there's like something going on. There's a construction. Let's hope for a horrible car accident, something to make sure that it's okay to have these lanes closed. But no, you get to the end, lanes open up, it's back to regular traffic. They did that just to fuck with you, just because they can. That's power you can't buy. There's nothing you can do. And people unite amongst the hatred of traffic. You notice you're driving around, somebody cuts you off, you start turning to people next, did you see that shit? Right? We should report that guy. We can report him to the city, now that's a joke. It's crazy, but at least we have places to go, right? You know, UDOT does do crazy stuff. I mean, I don't know if you saw what they did on Foothill. They closed the freeways down for 6 months. I-80 East, I-80 West, I-15, all blocked up. Park City, you can't get there. Because they decided to paint a bridge. Yeah, it's now an orange color. I didn't like the gray they had before. It's orange now. So it only took them 6 months to do it. It's record time, actually, for UDOT. That's an impressive feat. But we do have places to go. You guys have good coffee shops to come to, listen to amateur comedians. You got bars, there's restaurants. There's a lot of places in this city. Not everybody has that. People, citizens actually of Murphy, North Carolina, they don't have that. You know what they do on a Friday, Saturday night? They go to their local Walmart. It's a true story, you can look it up. Citizens of Murphy, North Carolina spend their weekends and their getaways in Walmart. It is their dance recital, it's their concert hall, it's their weekend getaway. It is what they do on a daily basis when they're not at work. Can you imagine that? Like imagine asking somebody, hey, what you doing this weekend? I'm going out to Walmart, actually. Maybe in the outdoor section. Yeah. It's right next to Home Goods down aisle 8. You ask somebody, hey, what you doing this weekend? I'm going to Sunday Night Football. Like that. He means the electronics section. They got a futon set up. It's right, streaming the game right there. I'm going to the Great Outdoors. He means the Great Outdoors. A sign above the electronics department down aisle 7. They actually host their homecoming dances there as well. True story. Imagine that. 16 years old, you got your overalls on. Get on your tractor, go pick up your hot date. Happens to be your cousin, that's important. You pull up to the Walmart, you pop out, you get in front, you get the awkward photos going. Get that front load Maytag washing machine photo. Imagine that awkward shot. Make sure you get the Kenmore, that's a limited edition. You gotta make sure you got that one in there. It's important. We've done a lot of observations though. Since I've graduated, I've had a little bit more free time on my hands. I'm doing a lot of soul searching. And I've been looking and making observations about things that I used to think were cool, but no longer are. For example, you guys ever listen to the Useless Facts radio station? I'm sorry, NPR. I'm sorry. My mistake. NPR, you guys ever listen to that? In college, you think you were smart, right? When you listen to NPR, like, well, I know the history of Venezuela now. No, you don't. You don't. It's always boring. And you listen to it in college because you had that sensual voice, like Doug Febreze did. My God, it's orgasm of the brain. So, on tonight's discussion, you're like, ooh, yeah. Keep going. Talk about whatever you want. Much like Gilbert Gottfried doing that. In today's discussion, Jesus Christ, son of a bitch. Okay. But it's like, you actually tune in and listen to it. It's horrible. Like, there's no actual information in NPR. I tuned in the other day, and they start talking, like, The history of countertops from a child's perspective. Wow. Fascinating. 3-hour special, but now I know countertops from a child's perspective. I actually tuned in today, and no joke, I can't make this stuff up. I tune in, I turn on the radio, and it goes off and it says, which animal would be best at understanding physics? And somebody actually gets on the channel and they say, well, I think a bird would be better than a dog, of course, and they chuckle, as if that's common knowledge. Of course. Why would a bird be better than a dog? Come on, that's common knowledge. Everybody knows that. It's very, very boring, but you think you're smart when you're growing up because, they have facts on there. I've been doing a lot of observations because I've been going to some weddings. So my girlfriend's been dragging me to a lot of weddings this summer. I think I get the hint. She likes dressing up. So we go to a lot of weddings, and come on, nobody likes going to weddings, right? You already know that going in. You never talk to somebody and like, hey, what you doing this weekend? I'm going to a wedding on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Oh. It's like, what you doing this weekend? Oh, well, I was going to watch paint dry, and then my wife's dragging me to this shitty wedding I got to go to. Everyone's not looking forward to it. That's because as a bride and groom, you know that at the wedding, everybody you've invited is unhappy. Nobody cares. They're only there because they have the unfortunate situation of being your best friends. They have to be there. They're putting the time in. Because they're going to do the same thing at their wedding. It's a boring situation. You can witness this at the cake cutting ceremony. See the bride and groom are all cute. They're like, oh, who's gonna get her face? Oh my God. You looked at the people around. So are we gonna like cut this cake, or like, should I come back? What's the protocol to this situation? And as soon as the cake is cut, well, we need to get going. We have a long way home. You're 5 minutes away. No, we've got kids. No, you don't. You don't. Weddings are interesting places. You always run into weird people. I ran into an individual over the summer. His name was Joseph, but he preferred to be called Joseph. Yeah, that's how he spelled it. He was in a band. I love when people say that, like, I was in a band. Anybody can be a part of a band at some point in their life. The fact that you were in a band and still aren't in one shows me how successful that band was. Tattoos all over the place. Interesting people. He says he met the lead engineer of NASA. The first 10 seconds that I met him, he had to throw that information out. Then you get people that always try to compare yourselves to them, right? So sitting there at this table, there's this guy across from me. He starts talking. And all of a sudden, we're having a conversation. I see him just staring right at me. He's just staring. He's looking at me like, what is this? Like, so how much you lift, man? You look like you lift a lot. I don't know, man. Like, that's as a weightlifter, for those of you who don't weightlift, that is a secret number. It's like a social security number. You don't reveal, you don't just throw that information out there. You keep it, like you give the last 4 digits or so, but other than that, that's secret. You don't throw out how much you lift. So I'm like, I don't know, man. Just as much as everybody else. It's like, what was that, 265? What, 270? How much you lifted? And then, what he continues to say, I have to preface this because it's going to sound very racist, but that's not me being racist. That's what he said to me, okay? So I am by no means racist. This is his words exactly. Rather than saying, I perform Kung Fu, he decided to continue with, yeah, man, I do 265. I also perform Kung Fu! You ever get that like weird feeling in your skin, like, nah, man, no. I'm not even Asian, and that's like, dude, please don't say that. Like, there's probably Asians around, like, God, I practice some Kung Fu, and I do a lot of different martial arts. I'm like, oh God, please don't continue talking. Speaking of racist, I went to New York recently. No, those two connect. Let's not just remain in a tangent. I went to New York recently, and it was for a work trip. And a beautiful place. I love that place because you have the constant fear of being shanked, and you have Asian tourists. It's the perfect combination. That constant fear of alertness, and then you get to photobomb every single Asian tourist. It's fantastic. But I arrive at the airport, and I get out, and I'm approached by 3 large black men, okay? I stop and I say to myself, now Armand, you've seen 2 of these in Salt Lake. It's common for there to be more than just 2 black people in a large city. Like, that's not uncommon of a thing. they approach me like, hey, you got what, one luggage, one person? Yeah, we got a black taxi out there for you. Come on, come with me. I'm like, no, I'm okay, really. It's really all right. I don't need the black taxi treatment. I'm okay. I'll just take a yellow cab. It's really not a big deal. Oh, come on, you come. No, it's really, I'm uncomfortable. So I ended up calling an Uber, and if you guys ever use that app, it tells you where the driver is on the map. You know exactly where he is. So I call the Uber. The guy's name is Gang Deep. Okay, it's not racist. That's just his name. I call Gang Deep, and he calls me. It goes about 5-10 minutes after I call him, because I see on the map he's about 7 minutes away. 5-10 minutes go by, he's not there. So he calls me on the phone. He's like, "Look, buddy, I can't make it." I'm like, what? This is your job. Like, you were at the air. I didn't call some random person like, "Hey, man, can you pick me up? I'm at the airport." You were waiting for somebody to call you. So I'm at Terminal 3 rather than Terminal 2. What's a few minutes? Like, no, I can't make it. Like, please, for the love of God, I don't want the black taxi treatment, please. So he comes, pulls up, he picks me up, and we start driving. And I'm thinking, all right, now I'm home safe, everything's all right. He offers me like a half-drank bottle of water in the cup. I say, no, thank you, I'm good. So finally I'm driving, and I notice that the man keeps swerving left and right. And I'm like, okay, maybe this is just the beginning, it'll get better. It continues. About an hour into the ride, I noticed that he is purposely aiming for every single pothole in the road. So I'm like, I'm not sure if I should say something because we're in a bad neighborhood. Like, if I piss him off, he kicks me out, I'm definitely going to get the black taxi treatment. So I don't know if I should go that far, So finally, he drops me off. My ass is hurting. I get out. I'm thinking, all right, I'm home free. Everything's okay. I'm just going to get back to the room. I'm going to get some rest. I'm going to get some sleep. So I get into the hotel room. I open the door, and I meet my roommate for the next 2 weeks. Now, I can best describe him as, think of any white English person. Well, I think of any white British person you can think of, but he was black. And so it was like Adis Alba was my roommate. It was awesome. He had a British accent. He was awesome. I felt like I was pretty cool. Those 2 weeks were the worst weeks of my life. I'm like an old man at heart. I'm not gonna lie. Like I gotta sleep at 10 o'clock. Like it was a Tuesday. I had to work at 6 in the morning. I can put my cane down, put my dentures away. Get into bed. I'm all snuggled up. TV's on a timer. 4 a.m. rolls around. Woo! Yeah! My roommate busts in the door. I'm like, Jesus Christ, what is going on? It's in a separate room. Now, you guys heard of the Koch brothers? This is one coked out brother. He's like Skyping his mom at 4 in the morning. I'm like, and nobody's awake. Imagine his mom like, what does my dumbass son want at 4 in the goddamn morning? And then the next day, we were at work, and I asked him, like, hey, are you feeling okay? You got like 2 hours of sleep. He's like, I did? You don't remember falling asleep on the couch? I fell asleep on the couch? Where did you wake up? Jesus. And then they got on the conversation where he starts asking me, hey, so, do you have a relationship and stuff like that? I'm like, yeah, I do. He's like, oh, where does she work? And I tell him where she works. And so, of course, you got to be kind and ask the same question. So I ask him, so, are you in a relationship? He's like, yes, I am. I'm like, oh, cool. So what does she do? He's like, I have no idea. I'm like, how long have you dated? 6 months. You have no idea. So no, she won't tell me. She says it's very secret what she's majoring in. She doesn't want to ruin it, so she won't tell me. You've been dating for 6 months. That's like a second date at most situation. You should know that. Finally, it gets to the very end. Okay, this is the day before I fly out. So I got an early morning flight. I'm like, even if I get woken up at 4 in the morning, that's okay, because I got to wake up at that time anyways. I planned my flight to make sure that nothing could go wrong. I get in my room and I'm like thinking, I had a nice meal, I went to a Broadway show, I'm thinking I'm going to decompress, I'm going to have a good time, get my PJs, because he's probably going to be out of the room. I open the door and I hear sounds in a different room, in the bedroom actually. And I'm thinking, all right, this is weird because I'm pretty sure he's out partying, what could be going on? So I get in the room and there are 7 people that I have never before seen in my life. Sitting on my bed, their ass on my pillow, drinking wine. I felt like I was the intruder. Excuse me, I hate to break up your show, but it seems to me that you are in my room. I'm sorry. Can I get you a cup of coffee for the troubles, or get anything I can do for you? So I start packing, like lifting stuff underneath them, like, oh, excuse us. Yes, excuse you. Thank you guys so much. Next up, we'll have David Sarkisian.